Hello everyone, Red XO here, and today we're gonna do a little project that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's called Story Time. So this is just a segment where I'm gonna read out stories I've written myself or other people have written. So if you guys like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and without further ado, let's get into it. The Young Father by Samuel Rosado. An 18-year-old young man wanted to have a daughter. Everyone judged him for wanting a child at his age. After having a very long conversation with his parents about adopting a child, he had no choice but to move out because his parents were against his decision. He was still in college, had a part-time job, and was not ready to take care of a child at that moment. After a few agonizing months, he was promoted in his part-time job and found a 2-bedroom apartment. He soon became stable enough and felt he was ready to adopt a child. There was an orphanage not too far from where he lived. He did some research on the orphanage and decided to set an appointment to visit. At the orphanage, the employees were concerned and curious. Some began to murmur, "Why would a young man of his age want to adopt a child?" The people in charge of the adoption began to question him rigorously. They asked if he would be willing to take a lie detector test, as well as take part in an investigation where he would provide a valid information and references for his child rearing abilities. After 7 months of investigating the young man's case, they found that he had been working, going to college, and had an apartment that was well taken care of. Miraculously, they approved him for the adoption of one child. The young man quickly visited the orphanage once more. He was escorted to the room where the children were playing. Laughter and hollering could be heard right outside the door. As he drew nearer, he became nervous because he wanted to make a good first impression. He wanted a little girl, but was also willing to take a boy. As he opened the door, his heart raced and his mind went blank. As the knob shifted and the door slowly swung open, he quickly paused to survey the room and noticed there were more boys than girls. He soon noticed a little girl in front of a small whiteboard in the corner. She was far off from the larger group of children who occupied the center, playing on her own with lots of toys and stuffed animals. He thought to himself, "Is she pretending to be a teacher?" The little girl had brown hair, large cheeks, beautiful little green eyes, and small heart-shaped lips that were ordering her students to pay close attention. This amazed the young man, and he immediately began walking towards her and her class. He stood just outside where the stuffed animals were sitting. "Excuse me," he said to the little girl. "May I join this class?" "Yeah, sure. Sit over there," she responded as she pointed right next to a stuffed rhino. The little girl continued teaching her class about how to have proper manners. Her lecture concluded with her saying, "Remember, saying please and thank you will help make grown-ups like you." When the class ended, the young man went up to the little girl. "Teacher, may I ask you a question?" he asked. "Yes," she responded. "How old are you?" "I'm 5. "Do you remember your parents?" the man asked, without thinking. "Well, my daddy told me my mommy died when she had me. And daddy took care of me till I was 3 3/4. And then put me in this nice home. He said he would be back, and until then, I should stay here and have fun." The young man was shocked and asked her one final question. "Would you like to have a new home with your own room? You can still have fun." She excitedly replied, "Yes." "But is it okay if I live with you too?" he asked. "Well, only if Mr. Bubbles can stay with me," she said. She pulled out a stuffed monkey with a white face, black eyes, red lips, brown fur, and white-tipped hands and feet. The young man said, "Sure, he can tag along too." "Hey, mister." "Yes." "What's your name?" "My name is Alex Threshold." She looked puzzled. "What do I call you?" he asked. "Well, you can call me Alex. if you want. Can I call you Daddy? Alex gave her a hug and said, yes, sweetie. That would be fine. While signing the papers, the adoption agent said, before we conclude this little happy ending, you have a choice to change the child's name. Her current name is Ashley Davis. Would you like to change her first and last name? He looked at the little girl and asked her. She said, but I like Ashley. Okay then, we don't have to change that. How about your last name? Yeah, okay. Is it gonna be like yours? Yeah, we're gonna be a family. From now on, you'll be known as Ashley Threshold. Sound good? Yes, yes, yes. They left for their new apartment. Ashley's room only had a bed and a dresser. She looked at him and said, is this my room? Alex laughed. Well, I'm not done yet. I was waiting for you so we could finish it together. Want to go look for stuff to put in here? Yeah. Can we go now? Yep. And if you want, we can start painting your room today. Okay. Ashley's eyes lit up like a shooting star. They spent the next few days preparing her room with things that she wanted, such as 4 fuchsia-colored piece furniture that included 2 small nightstands, 1 wide dresser, and 1 tall dresser. They also got her a pink lace accent shag rug, a light pink canopy bed set, a green beanbag chair that Ashley was adamant to have even though Alex didn't think it would match the color scheme of the room, and a few toys of her choice. When Ashley's room was finished, to her liking, Alex grabbed his Polaroid camera and asked Ashley if she wanted to take a picture with him. Ashley ran to grab her stuffed monkey and entered the frame to take the picture. Alex said, okay, how about we don't smile and make a funny face instead? Yeah, Ashley responded enthusiastically. Alex took the picture and gave the only copy to Ashley. When things began to settle down, Alex started thinking about his parents and really wanted them to meet his daughter. He was very nervous because they left things in such a bad way. Alex told Ashley if she would like to meet his parents. She quickly answered yes. So, Alex started to plan a date when they will see his parents. Alex decided to not notify his parents about his visit because he was nervous to talk to them over the phone and didn't want to have second thoughts. On the day they arrived at Alex's parents' house, he immediately felt a knot in his stomach and wanted to leave. He looked down at Ashley and saw that she was also nervous and thought to himself, it's now or never. Alex pressed the doorbell and could hear the chimes of the doorbell through the door. As the door swung open, Alex was face to face with his father. A brief moment of silence fell upon them both until Alex's father said softly, "Son," and embraced him. As his father was releasing Alex from his loving embrace, he looked down and saw a little girl behind him, grabbing his right leg tightly and said, "Who is this beautiful little girl?" "This is my daughter, Ashley," Alex responded. "Well, hello, Ashley. Welcome to the family. Would you like to come in?" his father said. With a nervous tone, Ashley said, "Yes, please." As they were entering Alex's old home, Alex felt waves of nostalgia, sadness, and regretfulness hitting him while he was remembering his time at home with his parents. His mother was in the kitchen making dinner for his father and was interrupted as she said, "Honey, who was at the door?" Alex stood behind his unsuspecting mother and said, "Me, Mom. It's me." She immediately stopped what she was doing and turned to see her son with the little girl holding his hand. His mother was not bothered and gave Alex a large and warm hug. His mother then kneeled down to the little girl and said, "Can I have a hug from you?" The little girl smiled and jumped in her arms. Alex told his parents everything that had happened since he left. He cut his story short and said, "I'm really sorry for how I acted and how things ended up. Son, we were just worried about you. Yes, we just wanted you back home, son. We love you, and now we love Ashley," his mother added. His father gave him a hug and said, "I'm so proud of you for taking responsibility and sticking with it." Alex told Ashley that they are her grandparents now. She was so happy that she hugged them both for a long time, as if she was never going to see them again. When Alex turned 22, he started to get to know a 21-year-old girl named Lexis Springs. A few months into their relationship, Lexis wanted to meet the little girl that he was constantly mentioning. When Alex took Lexis back to his place, Ashley ran up and gave Alex a very long and loving hug, as if she hasn't seen him in weeks. Ashley was 9 now, and was at an age where she was going to school and making new friends. However, when Alex tried to introduce her to Lexis, Ashley hid quickly behind Alex. Alex told Lexis, "She's shy around new people. She did the same thing when she met my parents." Alex chuckled. "But she loves them and they love her. I'm sure it would be the same with you." He turned around and kneeled down to Ashley and said, "Come on, Ashley. Come say hi to my good friend Lexis. I want you to meet her because I want you two to be friends." "Oh, okay," Ashley said in a soft voice. Lexis kneeled down next to Alex. "Hi, Ashley. How old are you?" Lexis asked. "I'm 9.5. "Wow, you're a pretty big girl, aren't you?" "How old are you?" Ashley asked Alexis. "Well, I'm 21. "Daddy is older than you." They both laughed. "Yeah, but he's only 1 year older." They quickly became friends, and Ashley loved Lexis very much. After 2 years of being together, Alex finally asked Lexis to marry him. She happily agreed, and Ashley was excited to have Lexis as her new mom. At 24, Alex became a college graduate with a successful business career, but still maintained an active presence at home to be with his family. Alex and Lexis had 2 twin boys, Brandon and Aaron. At the age of 27, Alex was diagnosed with brain cancer. Ashley, who was 14 at the time, understood exactly what cancer was and became extremely sad. The doctor told the family that he had about 6 months to a year to live because it was untreatable. Alex spent every waking moment with his family as he grew progressively worse and worse until he passed away at the young age of 28. Alex left his successful business career to his loving wife, Lexis. Ashley's biological father, who was notified about her adopted father's death, came to the funeral and saw that their family had large sums of money and thought to himself that maybe since he's her real father, that he could get something for his troubles. When the ceremony concluded, Lexis, Ashley, and the twins headed home to be with their loved one. Ashley's biological father followed a large line of cars to their home and began to look for Ashley to speak with her in private. Lexis noticed that Ashley was speaking to a man that she did not recognize and quickly headed towards her. Lexis told the man to step away, but he refused to listen and said, "Hey, Ashley, come on. It's me, your real father." Ashley was a bright 15-year-old girl who understood the meaning of what a real father was and said, "You're not my real father. A real father doesn't leave his daughter all alone in an orphanage or tell her lies that he'll be back soon. But I was young. I was only 18. I didn't know what to..." Ashley interrupted him and pointed at a picture of Alex. "You see my real father right there?" She pointed to a photo that she had in her hand of Alex and her when she was adopted at 5 years old. "He adopted me when I was 18. He never once stopped loving me like you did. There's no excuse. If he could do it, then you could have too." Ashley held her mother's hand. Lexis said in a demanding voice, "Leave us now. There's nothing for you here." Everyone began to notice that Ashley and Lexis were raising their voice at a guy no one recognized. A few good friends of Alex moved towards Lexis and she said, "Can you get him out of here? He's disturbing our time." Alex's friend escorted him out of the house. Ashley went into her little brother's room and stood over her two little brothers while they were sleeping in their crib and started to cry softly while holding the picture of her father, saying, "I will never stop loving you, Daddy." And that is the end. Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. I've written the story I don't want to say a few years back, but a lot of years back actually. Let me just be honest with you. But this was one of my first short stories I've ever written, and it's not, I like it. It's not, one of these groundbreaking stories, but it's something that I've written and I presented to a few of my classes when I had them presented. But either way, guys, if you liked what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you have a story you want me to read out, you can just email me or message me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. So thank you guys again so much for watching.